A very good morning and welcome to the Ladies Club. My name's Valen Kirtley. I'm your host for today. Thank you for joining us once again. We have a wonderful guest with us in studio, Adri de Jongh-Schoeman. She joins us a little bit later on, and I'm really looking forward to our chat with her. But we always begin the show with an inspirational quote. So let's get the show underway on an inspiring note. 2010 downhill Olympic champion and 2009 downhill world champion Lindsey Vonn once said this: follow your dreams. If you have a goal and you want to achieve it, then work very hard and do everything you can to get there, and one day it will come true. So it's a wonderful quote by the American World Cup alpine ski racer. Vonn is a talented alpine ski racer who's been on the scene for so many years after making her debut at just 17 years old, and she's won a total of 4 overall World Cup titles. And I really love the fact that she speaks about going for your dreams, knowing what your dreams are and going for them, because on the show today, in tribute to Karina Horn's national record, we have a sprinter now turned top-class fitness trainer in the house. Very warm welcome to you, Adri. So good to be chatting to you.
Thank you.
What have you been doing since your retirement in 2006?
Phew, a lot. First of all, I had another son. I decided to become mummy again. So Zander was born in 2007. And then after that, I decided to go back into the sport. I wanted to do something, invest more, give a little bit of myself and just be part of it, because that's me. I could never be in an office. So I decided, to go back into the sport and invest and give a little bit of myself.
I mentioned Karina Horn, South Africa's national record holder, over 100 meters, just ran a sub-11, 10.98 seconds. Absolutely incredible. And she said that it was the culmination of everything that she'd ever dreamt of. She finally managed to achieve it.
Yes, Karina is a brilliant athlete. I personally know her, so I'm very honoured. She trains at the University of Pretoria, where I also do a lot of training. And I'm very privileged to see some of her training sessions, and we're actually very good friends. So for me, it was an absolute phenomenal evening when I sat in front of the TV and I saw her run and she came fifth, and I actually thought, Karina, go a little bit faster, you can make a number 3. But for her, I'm so happy for her. She's a wonderful person off the track and a phenomenal competitor, so she deserves everything and more.
We started off the show with that quote from Lindsey Vonn, which speaks about just that, knowing what your dreams are and going for them, putting your heart and soul into achieving them. We saw Karina Horn do that, and you know a thing or two about having a dream, having a goal, and absolutely giving your all to achieve it.
Definitely. Look, I think everybody's got their own dreams and their own abilities and what you want and what you want to work for. And sometimes, you make it and sometimes you don't. But the dream doesn't go away. And for me, it was the same. I always had that dream, and now I live my dreams in another way. So, yeah, I can definitely agree with that slogan of that brilliant athlete.
Take us back, though, because it all started somewhere. Where did this love of athletics come from?
I was born in a very sports family. My father was a brilliant rugby player. He played under Donnie Craven, also an athlete. My mother was a brilliant netball player, as well as an athlete. So I was even when I can remember, I was doing sports. And I did gymnastics, actually, from the age of 5 years, and I thought I was going to be this brilliant gymnast. And then when I went to school, primary school, I started running for the fun, and there it started, and it never stopped. So, yeah, it started at school level.
And you've just done so much. Won a double silver in the relays at the African Championships in 2004, represented South Africa at the World Championships, at the Commonwealth Games. There's just so much that you've managed to do. What would you say are your career highlights?
I would say, running on the South African circuit was wonderful for me. Look, back in the day, I think if I had the opportunities that the athletes have now, it probably would have been a different thing for me. I would have probably done better, I can't say. But to compete in South Africa with the engine that was supported us and all the sponsors that was very, very into athletics in the time when I used to run was definitely a highlight for me. We had a lot of exposure. People loved athletics. I can remember we had a huge international event at Polditch in Pretoria, and there were so many people. The people stood on the grass walls. There wasn't any place for anybody to sit. It was massive, and I would actually love that to be back in South Africa. Stadiums must be filled up again. So for me, that is one thing that I would like to see with my kids as well, for the stadiums to be filled up.
In the 90s, she was the sprint queen. But in 2002, her career took a sharp left. We'll be speaking about that when we return after the break. Stay with the Ladies Club. Welcome back and thank you for staying with the Ladies Club. Remember, you can get involved in the conversation. It's so easy on Twitter @sports@SABC. Just use our hashtag the Ladies Club. Before we continue our conversation with a former sprinter and now fitness trainer, let's bring you this week's trailblazer. The lady for the big occasion, two-time Olympic gold medalist Francois Mbango Etone. She's a Cameroonian athlete specializing in the triple jump and was the first Cameroonian to win a medal at the Olympics, the World Championships and the Commonwealth Games. In 2003, she left her coach and she's never been coached again. She started training with the help of her sister, Helen, and the results started coming. 2004 and 2008 Olympic titles in the triple jump. Her career got off to a great start as she won her first medal at the 1998 Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur. She then went on to medal at the World Championships in Edmonton, at the Commonwealth Games held in Manchester, and she came out tops at the Olympics in Athens and the 2008 African Championships in Addis Ababa, and that was before she won her Beijing Olympic gold medal when she jumped 15.39 meters to win her second Olympic title. She's certainly a great woman to celebrate and one that has flown the African flag at the Olympic Games. You know a thing or two about going to the Olympic Games, however, your experience, Adri, was not quite like that of Francois.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very bad experience for me. It's something that I actually don't want to talk about, but you know what, it happened and I would like to share it. 96 was one of my best years. I was ranked number 6 in the world in the 400 meter, ran a time of 50.73. And I went to the Olympics in Atlanta and I had to get an operation there on my foot. I broke my foot bone, my navicular bone, and I couldn't run the Olympics as a way I wanted to. So the doctors and the medical team there was brilliant. They did a very good operation. I came back, and after I think 2 or 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3 months, I started training again. And the 97 season, I ran a 50.73 again. So in a very short time, I got myself back on the track and in the 200 and in the 400, and I raced again, did about a brilliant South African season. And I don't know why, I've asked a lot of questions about it, but then again, I did have a bad competition at the Worlds. I couldn't finish. So yeah, I came back and I started recuperating again, and I took it from there. It was very hard for me that time. You know, it's very difficult for a sports person to keep your head up and even go on. I can honestly say after the 1997, I told my coach, that time it was Stefan Ekotze, I told him, you know what, I think I'm going to retire. I'm going to find something else to do. I cannot take this heartache anymore. I train so hard. I do everything right, and then something like this happened. Maybe this is just not for me. It's not meant to be. And the good person and the good coach that he was, and still is, he's still coaching, told me, no, come on. You know, you need to get back. Even if it's not for you, it's for the South Africans out there, and it's for your family and your friends. And there's a lot of youngsters looking up to you. You can't do this now. So yeah, it was a very tough time for me. I must admit, I went through an emotional roller coaster at that time.
Was what happened in those 12 months between 1996, the broken foot at the Olympic Games, and the DNF during the 1997 World Championships, were they as difficult as the ban for 2 years after an illegal substance was found?
No, you know what happened is, I think you come to a stage, as I said to you now, that you are so, maybe that's not the right word, so hard up just to get your body and everything right and do everything without pain, that you do something stupid, which I did. I listened to a lot of people, a lot of medical advice, a lot of people telling me, no, but this is the way to go, wara wara. And you know what? I did something and I allowed someone to give me a medical substance that was banned because of the pain I experienced in my body, because the only thing that I wanted to do is to run. And it was a very stupid thing to do. And I would really, if I think about it back now, I think it was the ignorance. I don't want to make excuses because I'll take full responsibility. I allowed it. But if you look back at it now, I can understand why sports people, not only in athletics, do certain things the way they do it.
So you knew what the effects of the stanozolol were going to be on your athletic performance?
No, not at that stage. I think it's not that I was ignorant or stupid. I didn't go like now. Everything I take or I give my kids, I would phone my doctor. I said, listen, is this allowed? Where is that drug-free South Africa book? I would go through it. That time I didn't look. I couldn't be bothered. I trusted too many people in my life. And I think that is also part of growing up and being, advised on a proper way. I wasn't advised on a proper way. Then again, I don't make any excuses for that. But I should have reacted more professional that time and made sure that this was okay for me and it will be fine by the time that I want to run again than just taking something because I didn't want pain.
And then you came back and you won 2 relay silvers at the African Championships when you were finally allowed to compete again.
Yes.
But how much did your World Championship gold medals in the 100 and 200 meters as running as a master in Brazil in 2013, how much did that mean, considering everything that you've been through?
It was brilliant. I remember I didn't want to run the 400, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people ask me, but Adri, the 400 is your forte. What's going on? You will kill them. You would run away from these people. And I'm like, you know what? I had so much heartache in that race that I don't want to run it even again in my life. Never, ever I would run a 400 again. I don't think I've overcome the emotional barrier in my head still. Even, I'm turning 48 now, and even after so many years, if I think about what pain it caused me, I don't want to run it again. So I said, no, I'm going to run the 1 and the 2. I don't want to run the 4. And when I stood in that blocks, I remember in the call room, it's exactly the same like in the seniors. Even if we're older, the same things apply, same rules apply, the drug doping apply, everything is the same. In the call room in the final, in 100 meters, I was sitting between 2 American girls. I was in line 4, and then they were just inside and outside of me. And one of the girls that ran in line 5 actually raced with me on the international level when we were younger. So I remembered her, and I'm like, oh my word. And I'm like, okay, Adri, just stay calm. It's not your event, 100 meters, you'll be okay. And I was sitting in the call room, and these 2 women was like over me with their hands like this, started praying out loud, saying they're going to conquer this and they're going to beat me. And I'm like sitting there, woo, okay, go on, it's fine, no problem. And when we went onto that track and we had to get rid of our tracksuits and you get ready, you check your numbers, I remember, and I just stood there and I said, you know what? When the gun goes, this is going to be my worlds. This is going to be my worlds. For the first time, this is going to be my worlds. And you know what? It was the sweetest feeling when I crossed the line and I saw, okay, the time was good. And these 2 Americans were number 2 and 3. And I was like, yes, I beat the Americans. It was so nice.
So at 43 years old, after a lifetime in athletics, you finally got to raise the South African flag and say you were a world champion.
Yeah, it was magic. For me, it was magic. And let me tell you something, the competition there is tough, eh? I thought, a lot of people say, yeah, but you're old. I said, listen, you must come and see how the men and the women still run and still jump and still compete there. You will be surprised. It's a really, really, it's a tough competition. And remember, we're getting older, eh? It's not so easy. Your recovery is much longer. It's like 2-3 days of walking around with very much stiff legs and pain. When you were young, it was 5-6 hours you could go again. It's different.
And Adri says she has qualified to represent South Africa once again at the World Masters Association World Championships, which this year takes place in Spain come September. And she's wanting to go for a double gold again. But how does she get it right that she managed to juggle this, plus being a mother of 3, and the fact that she's in charge of all fitness and conditioning at the newly promoted Highlands Park? Wow, wow, wow. We'll find out after the break. Welcome back to the show. Please join us on Facebook and Twitter at Sport at SABC. That's the handle on Twitter, and it's so easy. Just hashtag the Ladies Club, and it's the same vibe on Facebook. We have Adri still in studio with us, the former 200 and 400 meter national champion, represented South Africa all over the world. And besides the fact that she is a mom of 3 and she is currently in charge of all fitness and conditioning at Highlands Park, who can now call themselves a PSL team, she also is competing herself. But my word, how do you juggle all of that?
I must say, my support at home is brilliant. My kids, I've taught them from a very young age to be very independent. So I must say my kids are very independent. They can look after themselves and they know when to leave mommy, or mommy's tired, or mommy needs to work. They know exactly how to handle mommy. And then, of course, my husband is very supportive, always been. Since he met me through my athletics, he knew. I told him years ago, I said to him, remember, if you want to marry me, you marry athletics. So if you're not prepared to marry athletics, don't marry me.
Did he know that he was not only marrying athletics, but football too?
Not at that stage. Not at that stage, because I started with the football, but he never, I don't think he thought that it's athletics, football, it's all, everything together. I just told him, Peter, you must remember, you see me, this is athletics. This is Adri, athletics. I'm not around a lot. You must remember that. And he was fine with that. And yeah, he supported me throughout my whole career. I must say I'm very, very privileged to be able to can say that I'm one of, I think, not many women out there that get support from their spouses and their kids.
Tell us a little bit more about your career as a fitness and conditioning coach. Started with Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, you've been with a number of top South African teams, and now you're in charge for all fitness and conditioning at all different age groups at Highlands Park.
Yes, I qualified in Australia. I did a speed and conditioning diploma in Canberra and in Australia. And then I got contacted years back by Mushin Ertugrul, one of my big mentors. I've learned a lot from him with Kaizer Chiefs. And then from Kaizer, I went to Wits, then to Silver Stars, Platinum Stars, and then now Highlands Park. So yeah, I've come a long way in football. And you know, in my field, speed and conditioning is not only applying in football. I've also worked with cricket teams. I've worked with hockey teams. Rugby teams I've worked with. So yeah, it is not only football. I'm very privileged to say that I am with a great club. I'm more involved now in the development squad of Highlands Park, which I enjoy thoroughly with the younger boys, just to help him to get through the ropes, to be able to, when they go into big teams, that they are conditioned properly. Because I think that's the main problem. These boys have got so much talent, and when they get into a PSL or an NFD team, their bodies fall apart because they're not strong enough in different areas, and then they get all these injuries and their career stops at a very young age. So yeah, that's what I'm actually focusing on now.
All those areas, though, are male-dominated areas, and you are giving them instructions on how to strengthen their male bodies. Have you ever come across some resistance to that being a woman in your field?
Yes, I did. I did, and I still do. But I think it comes also with experience and respect. And a lot of these men that I work with don't know me from athletics. And the moment I explain to them what I need them to do and why do I say it, then there's no problem.
What do you do to relax?
Oh, okay. If I don't spend time in the gym or swim or watching movies, I love socializing and have proper South African wine. I love red wine. So I really do enjoy having red wine with my friends, and I like to walk a lot in the nature. I like walking trails. My husband does so much, so I do it alone most of the time, but it's fine. I like my me time. I'm happy in that little world of my own. So yeah, I do that a lot.
Tell me about your 3 children, because I believe that you have passed on your running genes, and even your adopted son, he is very much involved in athletics.
Yeah, look, I've got 3 kids. My oldest is Tembu John. He's not my biological son, but he is my son, all right? He studies at the University of Pretoria. He just ran 10.18 seconds in the 100 meters. I'm still a junior, qualified for the World Junior Champs. He won the South African University Championships now. He won the gold. So, yeah, he is very talented, and I think I've invested a lot in him. And I'm very happy for him to see he's going out there, and he probably will do what I could never do. And then, of course, my daughter, Chloe. She's also very talented, but she's more in the technical. She loves the pole vaulting. Can you believe it?
Wow, okay.
She's very artistic. So she also, like me, did gymnastics and trampoline and ballet and all that things when she was little. So she prefers the vaulting, although she's a very good sprinter herself as well. And I told her, I said, Chloe, maybe you should just try it. You know, you've got your mom's genes, but I can understand it and I respect it. She says, Mom, I don't want to be you. So I said, it's fine, you do your own thing. And then my little one, Zander, he's doing everything. He went to the South African primary schools athletic champs in pole this year, and he won a silver medal. He loves his rugby, he loves football, he loves his cricket. So yeah, very sporty family, but I don't pressure, or I try not to pressure. I believe they must do what they want and what they love to do. I don't want to force them into athletics. If they don't want to do athletics, it's also okay.
What is the motto that you live by?
I think it was also a sports person said the following, a comrade runner: the harder you train, the luckier you get.
Yep, that is so, so true. Gary Player said exactly the same thing. Thank you so much for coming into the studio and for chatting to us. It's been a wonderful conversation. We wish you all the best of luck for your future.
Much. Thank you.
That is Adri de Jongh-Schoeman, former 200 and 400 meter national champion. She was also a World Masters Association World Championship gold medalist over 100 and 200 meters. And she'll be adding to that. Just watch this space. Thank you for being with us. Remember, you can continue the conversation on social media. It's so easy on Twitter @sports@SABC, #TheLadiesClub. We will continue this next week when we continue to shine the spotlight on women in sport. And remember that greatness is earned and never given. Until we meet again, bye-bye.